Welcome to Bite-Sized Stories. Today, we meet Claudia. Claudia's father, Marco, had the emotional depth of a pancake. A single stack. Her mother, Joan, had been graced with a triple stack. Claudia, on the other hand, was burdened by an entire Denny's breakfast menu of emotional depth. At least 8 pancakes, 4 pieces of toast, 2 eggs, 3 sausages, and a giant glass of orange juice. The metaphysical caloric equivalent of a demigod. Where this gift had come from was a question she had asked herself nearly every night for years as she struggled to fall asleep, mulling over weighty questions about love and relationships, famines and wars, greed and generosity, and the nature of human beings. Mostly, she was overwhelmed by this, and she struggled to rein it in. The best she could manage was to focus her attention on only one topic at a time. Unfortunately, restricting her focus only marginally reduced the emotional impact. She felt joy and sorrow equally, from all corners and for all sides. Both victors and victims received sympathy in her heart, for both had had to participate in the fight. And also, she felt deeply, victories tended to be short-lived, misguided, and often misaligned with the facts. So who could feel joyous about that? And didn't everyone see themselves as the victor in their own heart anyway? The hero of their own story? If not, she empathized with those people too. It wasn't always pain that she endured. It was also joy. Although sometimes that joy was so joyous as to become too painful to hold. And that, too, she felt deeply. She was particularly moved by reunion stories. Soldiers back from war, their children screeching and running into their arms. The dogs lost during a move, who have found their way back to their owners. These stories made her sob in delight and in relief, and also in anguish. Her best guess, after many years of soul-searching, was that she had been gifted this talent by a prior version of herself. She hadn't come to this conclusion lightly. She was only 14, after all, and her atheistic childhood had not prepared her for such thoughts. It was Robbie, her classmate, who had sparked the idea in the first place, mocking her one afternoon during 4th period for always acting like she was from another planet. No, not from another planet, she had responded calmly and without hesitation. I'm from another time. Robbie hadn't responded to that, of course, and she didn't expect him to. She had surprised even herself. But she was confident now in that answer, confident that the purpose of this life and this gift was to learn to master it. As the years went on, she endeavored to do so. In college, she studied theology and psychology. Eschewing the limited options available in grad school, she moved on to studying meditation and yoga, Reiki, massage, and acupuncture. Her thirst for formal, structured knowledge was unquenchable, but yet she learned nothing new, nothing that her gift had not already whispered to her in the depth of the night. Sometimes, out of frustration, She would shout at her gift. Why can't you reveal yourself during the day? Why must you always be interfering with my sleep? But of course, there was no response. And despite all of her efforts, there was no change. Frequently now, the feelings were intense enough that she would need to withdraw from society. In the coffee shop, the waves of other people's experiences would flood into her like a dam breaking in a storm. Her teachers would ask her if it was like a tsunami. No, she would say, it is always in, never out. By 24, she was beginning to truly lose hope of mastering her gift. While she was still young, she knew, and theoretically had many years before her, the emotional load was taking a toll. She felt as if she were in her 90s, the burden of many lifetimes' worth of experience being carried on her tiny frame. It was at this time that her father called. Deadpan and emotionless, as always, he informed her abruptly that he had cancer. In despair, and with the additional burden of sympathizing with her father's new illness, she decided to return home. It was only as she walked into her childhood bedroom, for the first time in 6 years, that she realized what her true purpose was. Her true purpose was to distribute the emotions that she received to others, to be a transmitter and a teacher, to let the tsunami flow out into the hearts of those who needed it most, to broaden and expand the lives of those with only a single pancake in their stack.